What is up, everybody? We are back with Let's Get Sticky, but we got a special one. This is the first time we've ever done this. We got Advanced GG, our guy Cody, who is director of partners. If I have it correct, I believe that's his special title. He's going to come in and we're going to give you guys a little bit of insight on how partnerships work, what they look for as a company, and how to get you guys trending in that direction to get you in position to possibly get a partnership with them. That sounds good to me. I don't know if that sounds good to you, but so Cody, we've been doing these for a while. This is our second season in these, but the first time we've ever had a sponsor partnership come on, and I thank you for taking the time out of your day, because I know you're like ridiculously busy trying to move, handling everybody else in partnerships and meetings all day long. But give us a little bit of your background and how you got yourself where you are right now.
So I kind of got lucky, you know. I feel like some people just get that benefit in life. I started out, you know, just kind of getting into these sales roles in very corporate America style, where it wasn't really a good fit, but I made it work, you know, and I wasn't as happy as working. But I got lucky because I was a gamer at heart, and I just wanted to keep that grind going. I wanted to play games with my friends, meet new people. You know, the internet is just such a big place, and we lived through the internet boom. So it was just, I started in Halo 2, and I was like, dude, online gaming is like my future,
right,
you know,
right.
At some point. And I really got heavy into that community. It was the first time I was ever in like a gaming community. Because other than that, it was me playing GameCube with my neighbors and my brother, and just playing Super Smash Bros. Anything that was competitive and multiplayer, and that brought people together. So I got lucky because I fell into the Destiny space pretty early on and started figuring out like, oh, there's more to this. Like, I need to make a Twitter if I want to play with some of these people. I need to, you know, start networking and meeting more and more of these streamers, because I was trying to stream Destiny and get more involved in those tournaments, communities, and just, you know, open up these doors for myself. Because I am a failed streamer. I tried for 2 years. I put a good amount of effort into it, and what happened was life. You know, you got bills. I live in California. It's one of the most expensive places in the world, especially Southern, you know, and I was like, oh, I got to give this up. You know, I gave it a good run. I'm just going to work my ass off and, you know, make something of myself. So I still would talk to people in the Destiny community who I was in a clan with or participate in tournaments with. And I was really good friends with the CEO, Peter, at the time. And he hit me up just before COVID. He's like, hey, man, you know, we're getting pretty big, and I know what your background is. Like, you and I have talked so much, and we were just always networking and like keeping in touch, trying to visit him if I could. And he's like, we have an opening here for a partnership manager, and I think you would be a great fit because you understand the space. You watch, you know, YouTube and Twitch religiously. And I'm like, all right, you're speaking my language. What can we do here? And you know, I was always a YouTube frog at night, and if I could catch people late night streaming, because I bartended at night on top of my day job. And it was just really nice. I was like, dude, this is great. I started, you know, I was like, let me get started on some stuff. I'll figure out what my game plan is going to be. And I had a list of people before they brought me on of who I wanted to reach out to, because I knew I wanted to partner with them. I know their stream style. I know how they like to stream and partner. I was like, this will be so great. And I just started hitting wins left and right. Like, I was finding people like Sir Demetrius and Destiny, and, you know, using our previous contact. Like, we always played together. Like, I played tournaments against him, you know, and just started realizing like all that time I spent gaming and networking is paying off. Like, I just struck gold. I'm lucky, you know, and I understand like the culture. Like, I play so many games. Like,
I mean, it's one of those things too that you go. I think as you go through it. And I speak this too, just like you. I want to hit on that spot where you said networking and people that you meet through your journey. Like, it's. I said this to you, actually. I think I said it to you in our meeting. It's not. I might not have what everybody thinks you should have for a partnership, but I have a crazy reach that a lot of people don't realize is there. I can market well, and then you got the TikToks, you got those things going off, you got Instagram going off. And that's what I tell people. I was like, it's not exactly, you have to have these crazy god awful. You got to have. They want to see you have a reach. They want to see consistency. They want to see you working towards what you're going towards. And that's what I think, like right there, is you said you have all that networking from playing the video games with these guys in tournaments and doing all that. So it like lined up perfect for you.
Yeah, it was like all that time I put in gaming wasn't a waste anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand so many different communities because I put in like the better half of my life on WoW. I put in a good chunk on every COD that's been released today, you know? Every single Battlefield. I love every type of game that's out there. Like I was just playing Phasmophobia like last weekend with my girlfriend, and like there's just so much now that they're doing in these spaces. It creates metas everywhere.
Right.
And that's like, if I can understand how a game is fun, then I know how to work with a partner.
Right.
Because I understand their community better, I understand what they're looking for, and it's what we're looking for, right? Like the culture. That's how Advance is built. You know, we're still gamers at heart, you know, and it's never gonna change for me. Like I'll be near 70 and just still on the sticks.
Oh yeah, that's 100%.
Mouse and keyboard, whatever they give me, you know. If we're playing VR when I'm 70, I'm all for it.
You might break a hip then, bud. That's how I am. That's how I am too, though. Like people say to me all the time, they're like, "Dude, how do you go from playing PlayStation to grabbing a mouse and a keyboard and going in?" Because like when I play Fortnite, I play mouse and keyboard, no controller. There's none of that in my hand. It's too slow.
Sure.
Like I went from playing like that. I used to play on the PS4. I think that's when Fortnite first came out. It was like PS4 Pro Day.
Totally.
But I played that way, and I'm like, and then like I forget who I was playing with. I was playing the guy that was on keyboard and mouse, and he's like, "Dude, just switch. Just make the switch." I'm like, "Bro, I don't have a good mouse." Like I had this old like iBuyPower thing that couldn't change DPIs. I had no clue what a DPI was. I had no clue anything. I always was on a PlayStation. And I did this and I learned it, and I'm like, wow, dude, I'm hitting shots, like I'm hitting everything, like I'm going off, and I grew that way. It was just weird. And then like ever since I touched it like that, I can't play Fortnite any other way. Like I have to play it on keyboard. I can go back to playing COD, I can go back to playing Madden, go back to playing anything. And the other thing I've added into it now is I play on the damn Xbox. And they're like, dude, how do you do that? I was like, dude, I'm a gamer. I was like, when you're a true gamer, it doesn't matter what it is. You'll grab it and it's just, you'll go with it.
Dude, seriously, it's just the work, man. You put it in. Like, I try and explain this to a lot of my friends. Like, it's always the fundamentals. Like, even though it's the basics and it's boring for people, the basics is what wins tournaments, right? Like,
right.
Just understanding movement, understanding the smallest simplicity in your game to the fullest just makes you that player. You know, and some people kind of take that for granted, so they skip steps. And I've kind of noticed that, like in my own gameplay, you know, I'm not great at one particular game anymore. Like, right. I think when I made that same transition like you did from the sticks to mouse and keyboard was Rainbow Six. I had a real good friend of mine who was a coworker. He's like, dude, you're going to love this game. Your bullets go straight. I was like, all right, you're speaking my language, you know? I like when the first two bullets go right where I'm aiming.
Yeah. Not normal anymore.
Yeah, and as soon as I picked it up, I was like, oh yeah, this reminds me of Counter-Strike 1.6 days when I was like 9 in my friend's house. You know, I didn't own my own computer. I was just lingering on anyone who owned a PS4 or a PlayStation 3 at the time, or a PC, just trying to get my hands on, try everything. Exactly. And like, I think that's what really makes us different. You know, especially in someone in my position, like I've met lots of talent agents. I've met, you know, many people in different areas of our gaming space that's outside of it that really does the business. Right. And you'd be surprised that you know, how many people don't game, you know, you're just their paycheck, where we're looking at it so differently. Like I have so many partners that come to me and they're like, dude, I want to do a tournament. I'm like, I remember being that kid looking for LAN tournaments anywhere in my area that I could participate in. And I appreciate the grind, you know, like I know that feeling someone gets, like the euphoria. You're like, dude, I'm in a tournament, you know, like you're shaking, like your
adrenaline just gets going, man.
Like, dude, I picked up Tarkov the other day and I've had the same feeling just from being scared, you know. And it's just these environments that you get into. So you know, to get back to your question, like for someone, how I got here, playing games, honestly, just playing games, networking, and doing my best to make friends, because there's so much longevity in it. You know, it's not about making these fake front facing, you
Right.
know, relationships. Like
100%.
I actually care about my partners. It may not feel like that when I'm DMing back and forth because
That's
I'm on
very
like my
much no.
14th
That's
hour.
I'll tell you that for from since the short time we've been together and working together, it's been 100%.
Sure.
Like the other day, you blew me away with what you did for me, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Are you serious, dude?" Like, I was like, "You didn't have to do that." But I mean,
Yeah, dude.
well, you got to realize like there's a lot of partnerships that don't do what you guys do. You know what I mean? There's a lot out here where, oh, you have to buy this to get in, and then we get you in, and then blah blah blah. Then you got to do this to get
You're
this,
right.
and I'm just like, that's not how it should work. And if you want this person to promote or work with you, or however you want to look at it, I feel is that, yeah, should we put our money into our product at a time? Yeah, we should, because we are to believe in our product. And
Sure.
I think, but I also think it's a good feeling too, is like, hey, look, we'll give you this so you know what you have in front of you, so you can learn your product and have things at your grasp. You know what I mean? Like, I got a stack of stuff here that I can grab, and I can be like, yeah, these are my favorite flavors. You know what I mean? Like, these are what I recommend. Like,
Totally.
we're getting ready to make popsicles with this stuff, bro.
So good, dude.
I thought about this the other day. I was like, boom, popsicles. It's like mind blown.
Dude, energy pops. Let's go.
Bro, I'm telling you, like, just think about it. You got you got strawberry lemonade, and you got this mango splash as a popsicle. As a popsicle, bro. Like, that's
Imagine making
golden.
bomb pops, layered popsicle.
Yeah, like here's a little. Get a first bite, you get a strawberry lemonade. Second bite, you can get is mango. Just keep going down, and then when you get to the bottom of it, put a little bit of chill at the bottom. You'll be done.
I love that. I think that shows like how much community we've made as a
Yeah.
company. Like
100%.
I've seen so many people on Twitter that, you know, they're just a community member of someone's stream who bought our product,
Right.
and they show off like their cocktail recipe, you know, their smoothie recipe that they made with their product, or, you know, any way that they've incorporated in their life. And it's just so cool to see, like, it's actually making a difference. You know, how we've been working with partners is something I wanted to change right when I came on board, because I remember, you know, being a small streamer, having 30 viewers, you know, 10 viewers, 5 viewers, however much it was that day, and just reaching out to these companies like 5 years back, like, hey, can I work with you? Any way I can work with you, you know, like, just the smallest yes would be so cool right now.
Right.
And just knowing that perspective of the other side really helps this job, you know, and being able to express that and teach that to anyone who I hire on is just something I'll never forget, you know. Just that feeling of like, I hope they say yes, you know, like, you're really hoping, and it's just that letdown, you know, that you give people once in a while. You're like, no. That's something I wanted to change internally. Same with sending product, because if someone needs to buy your product, that says a lot about your company, right? Like, you're not at that stage to do partnerships, and you shouldn't be doing them.
Right.
You know, you should really be focusing on your structures, internal stuff to get you to that point. You know, we're lucky enough to sign big names now. You know, we're signing people like Ray C, Tectone just announced. We're really making those strides because it's the benefit to our other partners. Like, the more that we do to bring, you know, popularity to us, brings popularity to all our streamers. And the mindset of a partnership manager's focus being around your partner's growth and making sure we make your community happy, it makes a difference to the entire world, you know, because we care, you know. We remember what it's like to be grinding out here. Everyone here on the team has been either a mod in a chat, been a streamer, hosted tournaments, and streamed those tournaments. Like, it's just, that's where we came from, and we'll never forget it.
Well, that was kind of like
keep saying
me.
that.
That was like me. Like, that was like kind of like how we first started. It was weird because I talked to Jeremy. Jeremy tells me no, and then you were like in my DMs like 2 seconds later. I'm like, what? I was like, what is going on? I was so confused. Like, I was like,
So,
but it was
the best
one
way
of
to-
those coolest things in the world though, because it was like you were completely different from what he was seeing, and you like, it was one of those things. And that's why I try to explain these things to people is you have
Sure.
to shoot the shot. You have to. If you don't ever shoot it, you'll never know. And like I said, most of these companies that really give a shit, they'll tell you what you need to fix if there's anything. You know what I mean? And
Totally.
those guys, and that's what I said. He was like, no, and then you were in there, and you were like, dude, this is an easy yes. Like I was like,
Yeah.
whoa. I was like, well, whatever. I'll go with the yes.
So I kind of leave the freedom up to my partnership manager, because if it doesn't click like personality wise, it's just not gonna be a good partnership. Like you need to know that you can like push it to the next level
Right.
because you trust each other. You can, you click
Right.
personality wise. Like it just, that really matters because it gets the flow going. Like you and I can talk about anything, and I'm gonna be listening because you have
Right.
good ideas. So, and I know that because you and I have talked so much lately too.
Right.
Um, I'm always open to those ideas. So there's value everywhere. Like everyone has their own value. It, like you said, you just got to shoot your shot to show that value. And I have so many people DMing me where I always will be like, hey, I'm messaging you right now because I can't message you today. Like I will get back to this at some point. Like
Right.
my schedule is just so hectic, but trust me, I know you're grinding. I appreciate you even reaching out to me because like I was I'm still don't think I'm anything like special. I just want to help.
Nah, you did
I
your
just
thing,
want to.
bro. You don't ever think you're not something special. We're all special in our ways, man. You know what I mean? Like everybody has their spot they fit, and you found your spot you fit. You know what I mean? What you're doing is great. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
we all have that spot, and there's like I have a lot of guys that follow me, and these guys, they're always asking me, they're like, how do you get these sponsorships? I'm like, because I'm not afraid. You know what I mean? Like I will go in and be like,
You're definitely not, bro.
if somebody says no, I'm like, okay, so what do I need to do to make this happen? And that's my
Sure.
first question, because that was like, I got told by hail, I think it was Hailstorm. She said they weren't going to move forward with my stuff with all customs. I go in my email yesterday, and something changes, and I got an all custom pot. Like it was one of those things. And this company works together. That's why I even talked about it. But it was one of those things that I tell these people, like people are like, how'd you get with like I did the Elgato thing too, and I had got a commercial. I wasn't prepared for the commercial. I had no clue that was happening. All I was told is, hey, look, do you work with, they asked a question, and I tell these people, look, pay attention to these people, that if you got a company that you're looking to get with, turn their notifications on and read every freaking thing they post, because sometimes they're looking for people to do certain things. At that time, they were like, hey, does anybody work with the Stream Deck and voice mod? I do. I like messing around with it and being stupid on stream with it. So they're like, hey, can you make a video how this works? Da-da-da-da. Absolutely. That gives you your foot in the door to get a shot at trying anything with them. And that's what I tell these people is, if somebody gives you a shot to get that, to put your foot in it, make the best out of it. Like you have to go interact with these companies. They don't want somebody, most of these companies been around long enough, they can tell if they got somebody that just wants something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they see it. So like, you guys know who you're bringing in. You know who to bring in. You know what you're looking for. And that's what I tell these guys. It's like, you can't be afraid. You gotta go, just try it. It doesn't matter how small you are, because they'll look at your content and maybe there's something they see that if you fix, it might change your content for the better. And you might end up going from maybe a 10 average viewer to 50, 60. And that's those things I see. And that's what I felt like with you. Like it was, when we first talked, it's instant connection. Like I was like, this dude's cool as shit. I was like, we're in this. Like, let's go.
We got this together, dude. So, and to talk about that too, like people about shooting their shot. We find people all the time because we look. We're always
Right.
watching streams. The issue is you got to think about it like this. It's a sea, right? Like I'm just at this part of this, ocean. There's so much to Twitch now. Like it's never ending. You can scroll for like 10 hours and still not see like even 5% of it. There's so many categories. There's just so much to look through. So like shooting your shot can cut you in line,
Right. Might even
and
get you seen quicker.
it does, because if you're hungry, it tells a company like ours that you're willing to go all the way. You want to be with the brand. You want to do what you can to like prove yourself. And it's not necessarily we want to force people into this. We just like to know that people truly believe in us as a company and our values, and we will believe in your values too. Like we specifically pick people who are a good fit. It never matters about who you are, where you came from. It really matters about what you're building, what your goal is, I don't care what game you're playing. You could be, playing Minecraft for the next 10 years. As long as you know what you're doing and you enjoy it, that's all that matters to us, Every game counts. Like, I would never badmouth someone because they're maining that game. I love, like, there's a reason I will pick up a game I've never played before because I want to learn about it. I want to learn what that creator's going through. If it's someone I'm looking to sign in that game, I'll go and buy it on Steam right then and there, and I'll play it for a couple hours because I need to understand them better. I think that's a problem in our industry because not enough people think that way.
Right.
Not enough people want to put themselves in the perspective of the community and the person playing their game.
Right.
You don't ever want to come in and be like, "Ha, your game's dead." It's not dead to them. They still love it. Who cares?
Right.
I'm a diehard Destiny fan. I don't play the game right now, and that's just my personal choice because of hackers or whatever. Someone might be your game could be in a certain condition, but I'll still go back. I always look at their updates. I promote every streamer who I've ever been friends with on that platform. And another thing I wanted to talk about is how to push your stream out there. So Twitter is such a huge tool. You know this. I know this. Really tidying up your Twitter is huge because if you're just a retweet bot, no one's going to care about following you. If you're coming in and just posting your link that I'm going live, Twitter has come up with ways to like suppress that for viewers. Like people who will be on Twitter, it won't show up in their feed. The best way to do it is you say you're going live. You don't need the link. People know who you are. You just put a photo and take a photo of yourself right before you go live every time. Take a photo of yourself, post that, tell them you're going live, show them your outfit, show them what you're doing today. All that stuff's so great because what you do is you tag onto that and comment on your own tweet later with your link because someone might interact with that one more than just your link. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just such a smart thing to do, and I've seen so many people do this lately that I've caught on. Like you just see it happen, and you're like, wait a second, why isn't there a link there? And you just kind of look through, and then half an hour goes by, and I have all their notifications on. It's a partner of mine, and then they tack on to their own tweet as a comment, like, "Hey, here's my live stream." And what it does is it brings that same thing of your photo, just you as a person, like it's showing more of what you're about.
Right.
That one photo, and when you comment on your own tweet, it's going to refresh on the timeline, so it's going to bring it up. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just all these tactics, and it sucks to think about. But that's another great way of networking because it is this, like I said, it's the sea and the viewers are the fish in it. You know what I mean? You need to get as many as you want that are going to fit for you.
Right. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It's a lot of work. Like, that's what I try to explain to people is like, if this is what you really want, you're going to learn the amount of time that's going to go into it. Like when I first started, I had no clue about what being a true content creator was about. And as I grew, I hit my third year. I think like it was kind of like second 2.5 years going into the third year. I was like, okay, I'm turning the page. I'm getting somewhere. I'm seeing different lanes. Like I got to get on YouTube. I got to go here. I got to go there. And like this year, I just came out the gate and I was like, look, we're going everywhere. And I was like, we've been blasting TikTok. We've been blasting. I mean, like sometimes I'm posting 4 times a day on TikTok. Like. And then you also have Instagram Reels. I was told by somebody that's pretty up there that they're shit. I was like, they might be shit for you, but they're going off for me. Like I'm over here 1,000 or more every time, 16,000 or more. Like, and it was just like that, like you said the other day. I mean, just said a minute ago about posting on somebody else's post and interacting with those people. I actually posted on Saquon Barkley's post the other day of me like juking the living Jesus out of this guy, and it blew up. Literally, I think the last time I think I seen it was like 16K, something like that. This thing had 16K views on it. I was like, come on, Saquon, say something, Saquon. I was like, if Saquon says something, this thing's going through the roof. Like we're going, this clip is going to be the clip. And it was just one. I don't think he said anything, but I think it's still going. Like, I think it's still like people are still commenting on it and still whatever. But it was one of those things. It's kind of like, you get to that spot and you kind of feel like you're kind of defeated. You're posting, you're editing videos for YouTube. You're editing videos for TikTok. Cause I don't do what most people do. They get on their phone and they edit it, or they use the apps and and move their camera. I don't do that because I feel as it takes the quality away from it of what you have. You know what I mean? Like the quality gets suppressed by it, and I'm like, look, I want to do this. This is what I do for a living. So my quality has like when people watch your stuff, I think they learn like this person gives a shit. You know what I mean? They know you care about your quality. They know you care about what you're doing. And I think that speaks to people. You know what I mean? The more you get into it, the better you get. People start seeing it. They're like, wow, this guy's really working, and they kind of gravitate towards it. And that's kind of like what happened on like TikTok. Like it was one of those things. It's like I was feeding baseball like it was no tomorrow. Like I was having all this crazy stuff going on in baseball in the game. And I just kept going, and I was doing like 4 videos a day. And my wife's like, you're gonna kill yourself, because I was staying up to like 4 a.m, literally editing. I get done streaming at 12, stay up to 4, edit videos out, so I had enough that I could bang out 4 videos every. Like I had it set to a time. 8 o'clock in the morning was gonna be the first one. 12 o'clock afternoon. 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Like that was my schedule on TikTok. I was just letting them fly. And she's like, stop. I was like, no. And it was that one day we're sitting there and I posted, and it just went crazy. Like we're sitting here, and I mean, it was like 3,000 views in a minute. I was like, yo, what the hell is going on? And I forget where I was at. And I think I was donating plasma actually. And she's posting me, she's texting, my phone's going. She's like, babe, it just hit 10K. And next thing you know, it might have been 15 minutes later, and this thing is over 100,000. And I'm just like, what just happened? I was like, did I make it? You know what I mean? It's like, that's the first question. It's like, did I hit? Did I make it? It's like, but it's been kind of hard since I've been doing football. Like I haven't got that same feedback since doing Madden. I don't know if it's because of where the game's at right now or what it is. But I mean, like it's a grind. Like that's what I keep telling people. It's not just pushing the live button. Like the live button is not going to bring sponsorships. It's not going to bring any of the extra growth that you could have. You literally have to give it everything you have. Like it sucks up a lot of your time.
It does, dude. And I know that feeling of like every viewer counts. You know, you grind for that one extra each day. You know, and it, like you said, it's the work you put in. You know, you expect the same workout. It's not like that. You do it until you make it.
I wish.
You signed up for this nonstop grind where you don't know where it's gonna go. You know.
Right.
But it's worth it because that journey's fun. You know, and I think a lot of partners feel the same way. You know, whether they're at 15 viewers or 100, they're just happy to change anyone's day. You know what I mean?
100%.
You're part of that person's life at this point, and it's a good feeling.
Yes.
I think that was my favorite part about streaming, and now it's my favorite part about being a viewer.
Right. I mean, that's how I am too. Like we have multiple people here that have been with me. I've been I mean, they got streaks. Like it's crazy streaks, like 36 months, 35 months. My wife, of course, holds the longest, and she's at 41 months. But there's guys that just been with me, and they've been with me from the very beginning. The first time they met me, they just jumped on it, and it's all it's been. And those guys I've gained friendships with. Like we have phone numbers and stuff like that. Like, and that's one of the coolest things I think when you get into this stuff is the people that you get to meet, and then the ones that you really get to build that relationship that without gaming, without streaming, you probably never meet. And I think that's the coolest thing that comes from that.
So true.
And then you get, I think one of the coolest, I don't know about you, but I got to play with some people across seas. I think I got to play with somebody from like South Korea one time. He was like the coolest dude. And I played, and he didn't play, he seen me playing Call of Duty, but his game was CSGO. I've never played the game in my life. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to, like, you watch me, you're here every day. Early in, like, you're here. Like, as soon as I go live, you're first person to stream. I was like, I'm going to go buy this game and I'm going to play it with you. And this kid, like, freaked. Like, he was freaking out. Like, we got on the mic and, like, he's like, ah! I'm like, bro, it's okay. I'm nobody, buddy. He's like, no, you're, like, my favorite streamer. And it's like, I'm nobody. Like, in your mind, you're nobody. You don't have numbers like that. And, like, it was, like that was probably one of the coolest experiences for that to happen, because like I said, you probably never get that without this platform. So, and then my next question for you would be is, if you got the next question would probably be, um what would you what would your recommendation be to somebody that is actually looking to work with you guys? How, like, what would you recommend them doing?
So a lot of things come from me looking for leads and what I find as problems. If your branding isn't good enough for yourself, how is it good enough for another company? Um, that's one of the main things I try and preach to people. It's because, like, look at what you've done. You've done so much. Like, look, your stream setup right now, everything. There's a purpose. You've done this for all the right reasons.
Right.
This is your stream, and that's your branding. There's a lot of people who jump into this not knowing that, a streamer is his own brand. Like, this, people want to be a part of your brand. That's the whole point of it. They like your logo. They like your panels. They love the style of your stream. You got to look internally first before you look outward. You have to dial in. You need to look at all your weak points. You need to know that, hey, if someone wants to contact me, is my email in all the right places? If someone looks at my YouTube, is it there? If someone looks at my Twitch, is it there? If someone looks at my Twitter, is it there? Like, you have to have that open area for people to reach out, or else I'm just going to pass it up because I don't see an email and I don't know the best way to contact you, and your DMs are closed. I always tell people to reopen their Twitch DMs, because I've had a lot of friends in this space who work at other companies who'll be like, hey, what'd you do to talk to that person? I was like, hey, I jumped through some hoops, but I found his email here, and just like trying to track that down can be problemsome.
Right.
Where I tell people, I'm like, hey, look at your branding, look at how people can contact you, and then understand, are you posting on a regular basis? Because if your Twitter or your socials are dead because you're just a retweet bot, it shows us that your Twitter's, not valuable for co-branding,
Right.
It's all about the co-branding opportunity. If there's a way we can tack onto events that you're known for hosting events in a community, how well branded are those events? How well branded are the previous events? Like, how far has it come? Sometimes looking at things like that tells me, like, whoa, these people are serious. Like, if I look 6 months back, this looks so different, Like, they're putting all their effort into making sure this is something amazing. And as soon as I see the effort, it's a no-brainer on my part. Like, hey, if you put effort into yourself, it's gonna happen with us, right?
Right.
Like, look at you. You put all the effort in the world into your own stream. It immediately showed in our partnership, because I know that's how this works. It's something I learned early on when I signed a bunch of my friends who were, their branding wasn't quite there yet, but they were open to criticism. And that was the only thing I asked. In all my meetings I had today, all week, that's typically like something I like to end with, because I'm a resource, right? Like, I've learned all these things, I might as well share it with people. So we're in a meeting with someone. He's a Roblox streamer in Australia, super nice gentleman. He was lucky enough to meet with us at like 4 a.m. his time, and he goes, is there anything I should be doing better? I was like, if you're asking for advice, I'll always give it. Because one thing I dislike is unsolicited advice, because if you're not ready for someone to give you that advice, it's just coming off as annoying or just not even helpful.
Demoralize you, kind of.
Exactly. And it's never, from me, it's never a reason to like put someone down or bring them down. It's always to be like, dude, if you do this, I swear you'll see some changes. He asked me, and I was like, let me look through all your stuff. I was like, share everything with me. Just show me your link tree, show me every social that you use for your stream. And I was just letting him know, I was like, there's so many inconsistencies across your branding throughout. I said that you can really tidy this up. And I also said, you're around 50 viewers, you might want to look at a smaller agency to help you too. Agencies aren't always the worst thing in the world. I try to explain that to some people. Some people just don't need an agent. Like you, I would never push an agent your way, because you have it on lock. You know what you're about. You know what you want to do with yourself, and you're always on top of your game.
Right.
That's something you can't train. Like, you learn it or you don't.
Yeah, I think I got that as I grew up, like coming up as a kid. Like, I always had that person, oh, you can't do it, you're not good enough, you're not, and I was like, totally. It was always like, nah, bro, like, you just don't know. Like, I'm gonna let you see here. You say no, I'm gonna show you in a minute on your competitor's side. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it always was. Because it was like I'm gonna bring them up. I
Sure.
worked with, it was what was it, Gamer Subs. They were talking to me. They stopped all communication. I was like, all right, I got you. I was like, we're gonna go shoot our shot somewhere else. And I was like, you just created a monster because you basically just like, I'm one of those people. It's like you tell me that I'm not good enough for something, or I'm not good enough at something, or I can't do it. As soon as you say the word can't, you fucked up. Like you literally fucked up because I will prove you wrong. I don't care how long it takes me to prove you wrong, but I will prove you wrong. Like I will put it, like that's just me. Like I'm that person. Like my wife is like that. There's I forget when something happened and she heard the guy like literally say the word can't. She's like fucked up. Like literally my wife knows it. Like she knows,
She's like,
like
you
I'm
said the magic word, man.
like she knows I'm full tilt. I'm locking in, and that's all that matters until I prove you wrong. And it's a good thing, but it's also it can be a bad thing too, because then you lose sight of what everything else is going on. But
Hey, man.
I've learned how to be able to be like, hey, look, I'm locking in. I'm gonna prove this person wrong. Next person up, this steps up, says it. I'm gonna go knock them out the way, and that's where I'm at right now. Like I'm in like this month has been just absolutely absurd. Like I mean absolutely absurd. Like coming with you guys and now with all customs, like it's been mind blowing to me. Like it's just I don't know, things are just going boom boom like left and right. It's just everything's just like clicking. I'm just like geez. I was like, how do you take it all in? Because I was on the stream last night when that one came in. I'm like, didn't you? I was like, they just told me no. And I was like, whatever, we'll go with it. I mean, they're meant. Like I tell people, like things happen when they're meant to happen. I was before. I was big before. Like that's why my numbers are high as they are, and everything was up there. Because we ran with 200 people at one time, and things just got bad for me because I let my mind go and had some stuff I had to work on, and it just messed up. But we fixed it, and we came back to it, and we understand what we have to do and what not to do. And I think that's a huge step is any streamer is learn what didn't work or what to do and not to do. And like you said, like I was big, like I was switching my branding around and everything like that. And I'm like, man, I was like it worried me because I had applied for you guys and I applied for a couple other people, and I'm like, man, I'm switching, my stuff's not matching right now. And I know how big that is. Like if you got your stuff together, it's a big thing. And I'm like telling my guy that's doing my graphic, like, look, I'm not trying to rush you, but I need these things to match. I need all this to go together. And he's like, I got you. I was like, I got sponsorship applications out. I was like, I need this stuff to go together. And then we finally got it all together. And then it was like me and you, and then we just kicked it off. And but that, like I said, coming from where I'm at, like I don't hold as many, like right now it's the directory's crazy right now for Madden with the bigger guys because it's weekend league, so they suck everything up. But I've been typically, since I've gotten with you guys and changed like kind of like focus the way I've been, it's been different. Like as you said, like if you lock in and get in about yourself and believe what you're doing and focus in that line, things change. And it has for me. Like my average went up and everything since I've been doing it for the last month with you guys. And it's one of those things that I think it kind of like sparked me a little bit just because you came in and said yes. And it's like, because we've spoke about this, and
Sure.
like I said, there's guys out here that just they don't want to take the shot because the numbers aren't high enough, because like you said earlier about being a paycheck, basically. They don't feel like your reach is big enough to make a paycheck.
Exactly.
Because they don't do it like you guys do it. And I think that's what really drew me into what you guys do and how you guys go about it. Because like you can go into the partner Discord and you could talk with the CEO. He's gonna talk to you. Like there's not many companies that you're going in and be like, hey, what's up, Peter? How you doing, man?
Yeah, dude, Peter's a homie,
And he's just gonna have a conversation with you like a normal person. Like I think I was absolutely blown away by that. Like that made me want to sign like a contract for like 20 years. Like I was like literally locked. I was like, what? I was like, what just happened? like right there. Like he started talking to me, had a whole blown out conversation, and I'm just like, it's a real company. I was like, they get it. I was like, there's more to this than what I was seeing, and I think that was really where it came in. And I was like, I gotta get you on here because I want you to be able to explain to these guys of how to do it and how to go about it.
Yeah, dude, honestly, if you think about it, it's like anything else in your life. You can't have someone else tell you to do it. You have to come up with the idea on your own. It's the same idea with losing weight, quitting
Right.
smoking, stop drinking as much. Like someone can nag you about it. It's just not going to happen on its own.
Right.
You have to be the one putting in that work. Like it's never just going to fall in your lap. Like you know, one of 1,000 people might get that lucky on Twitch, but the others don't. Most of the people up there have worked for it, man. Like obviously there's going to be those discrepancies where you think someone doesn't deserve the viewership they have versus people do. That stuff should never be in your head. You should always be focused on yourself, because as soon as that focus gets interrupted, you know, like you were talking about, your mind gets into a bad spot. Your mental health starts dwindling, and it's just, you haven't been outside in days. You've just been grinding so hard. Like, dude, that work-life balance has to happen. I'm currently in the middle of it right now. I'm in a disbalance. I'm working too much. But I know in my future, like, I will have that segmented properly to make sure I'm happy with what I'm doing, because right now I know this grind needs to happen, and I need to put in these extra hours because it'll benefit everyone else around me, and then I'll be happier knowing I did that and put in the work, and then we'll be at this spot that I'm happy with, you know? And that's really like what's going on in my head is I know that I'm unbalanced right now, but I'm okay with the unbalance because it's going to be temporary. There's some people who partners of mine who are just, that work-life balance will never happen. They're at that 12 hours a day streaming 7 days a week, and they won't give that up. I'm like, sometimes you got to sparse out your content to drive need, you know? Someone wants...
Even when you talk about that too, that's a big thing.
Sure.
Is like when you get into that balance space, when they're going so long, you don't give yourself. I've learned this because, like I said, I was in that spot and I fucked it up. And I had everything. I'm sitting with everything set to go to partner. Everything's done. Everything's sitting ready to go. I just have to get my average back up. And it's one of those things is like, you don't understand how important the balance is to content creation. I don't think a lot of people get that, because if you're on 12 hours a day, when do you give yourself time to think of new ideas, to keep your content fresh or spark up a show? And I'll tell you what, this show came from me taking a month off. Like, without me taking off, I thought about this 100 times. Like, I want to do a podcast. Never took that step, you know? And I was like, look, I'm fucking losing my mind here. Like, I have no balance. I have no control of anything right now. Like, I'm literally coming on here, going live, and I'm just going. Like, it was like Fortnite, 17 hours straight. Like, I just sit here and just grind. And I mean, the view is just crazy. Like, we had 1,500 people in here at one time for Fortnite, and the numbers fueled me. I love being in front of the camera too. So like, the numbers were boosted, that thing going, and I'm hearing it. And my wife's over here like, hey, I need time. Kids need time. You know what I mean? And it didn't matter. It didn't matter. Like, I lost sight of everything. And then it finally just kind of came down crashing like a fool. Like, I mean, it was like Thor's hammer coming down on top of your goddamn head and just poof. And I'm just like, yeah, I need help. And I went to therapy and everything for it. Took it 30 days away from all social media, everything. And I came back and I came up with this show, and I was like, you know what? I feel like I have a decent enough platform where I can put some people in here and get people seen a little bit. And maybe not, and it might not be like huge numbers, but it's still getting them to know other people. And that's what I started doing. I started bringing on, like, we started hitting. I mean, it was so crazy. Like, we started hitting all these Madden pros, and they were all like one was like no, and then it just started taking off. I got a couple bigger ones. I got a couple little ones first, and we hit a couple big ones. Then we ended up getting Dubby, which is like the biggest creator in the Madden community. We got him on the show. Then we had one great user. Like, I mean, these guys are huge. These guys have been in the MCSs, and some are belt winners. We had J-Wall, last year's belt winner. He was on the show. And post tell you're cute, Cody.
Get out of here, Ashley.
But so we had these things happening, and I'm like, you know what, this is good that nobody's doing this. And it's like,
Totally.
what was great about it is I watched people try to duplicate what I do, and it just doesn't happen. And and that's, I think it's because of the way I do it, and I can interact and I can get a conversation going very easy. I don't have the problem with that. But it was, as you say, the balance is so huge, and I try to explain this to everybody. It's like, dude, you don't have to be on here for freaking 12 hours. Like, I'm usually 5 hours and I'm out of here now. Before, you couldn't make that happen.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell me like we're getting a divorce right now, and I'm like, go sign the papers. And that's how bad it was. It was at that point, and then I learned it. I was like, the balance is crazy because your mind constantly can go to different places with being clear to be able to get your brand right, as you said, and get your God, these guys are vicious to you in chat, man. They just beat you up.
You have a Killed by a Pony. She's our community manager, and then you have Jeremy Please. He's our partnership manager.
I know who Jeremy is. I've talked to
Jeremy. You're old friends.
We've talked to Jeremy, but is this like the pre-show? No, you guys are just late. You're late to the party. But so now, going forward with this, what are you typically looking for when you guys when you're going after somebody?
So a lot of the time I look to see if I vibe with their content.
Okay.
If I can enjoy it personally, it's a no-brainer for me. And I try and explain that to basically everyone who's a PM of mine. Go with stuff that you are passionate about, because that passion always transcends through conversation. Like, if you like the game that this content creator is doing, you're going to like their content. Like, I can remember the last Madden I played. It was 4 years back. I still enjoyed it though. Like,
it's probably the best one.
I think it was, dude.
These are a little rough right now. These ones that are out now, like, they put out the one now, and it's like, I'm out here like this. Hey, yeah, my guy's not covering. Is this Cody from Best Buy? Yeah, this is definitely Cody from Best Buy.
No, you got Cody from Honda right now. Don't worry.
From Honda.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
boy.
Another way to look at like content is just, if you personally enjoy it, it's a great way to sign it. Or if it's something new, like, and you're willing to go in and figure out what makes that content work. And like, I really don't like the word content, but there's no other way to describe it, but it's just like that joy that you can get from it is what really matters. So if it brings me joy, it's a no-brainer. I'll go in full-fledged. I want to come up with so many ideas with this partner, anything I could do to, boost them up. Or if they have cool new ideas, I love seeing these things like podcasts. I love seeing Twitch turn into this thing where it's like now game shows, I've seen Hive Mind plenty of times now. I've seen Schooled. All that stuff are great ideas, and what it does is it gives other people great ideas. I see Twitch having so many different metas in the next 2 years. Like IRL streaming, like live game show meta, for sure is going to be a thing. Talk shows, like a late night show.
I think a new thing that's coming out too is they're now pushing like their sports side of things, where they're trying to actually bring like podcasts and talk shows out about sports. Like
Totally.
That's a new thing. I think it's called like the Sports Accelerator program or something like that they've brought out. I just recently applied for it. A couple of the guys that I run with actually got it. So I'm waiting to hear back and see if that happens. So that would be a different avenue, so I don't have to sit and kill myself with Madden every day. But
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that's the big things is like, I think people get afraid to come to the companies, and I think that was one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to bring you on here, is to let them, hey, look, no, they're just regular people. Like, some companies are assholes. This company right here is not. Like, they're regular people. They game. They get it. And that was one of the biggest reasons, because I honestly was like, I know how to do me, and I know how to put myself out there. And I think I wanted you to be able to explain to these guys how to put themselves out there and what they need maybe if you guys would like to see them come up with like a deck or something like that, like if that's the way to go about it, or um just shoot your
So
shot.
I'd say shoot your shot. You don't have to provide too much info, you know, just tell me more about yourself. Tell me your goals. Tell me, you know, where you started. Those are things I ask in every meeting almost. You know, I want to know what got you into streaming. I want to know like what your first game was, what got you into communities, you know? Those tell me loads of things. It tells me like where your passion's at, what I can do from that perspective to help, because that is my, you know, it's my job and it's what I like doing, you know, hearing where they come from, what communities like got them to where they are now is such a fun story to hear, and it tells me everything I need to know. And also asking about what your goals are, like where do you see yourself in a few years on Twitch? Where do you see yourself in a few years on YouTube? You know, if you can't answer those questions though, that's what kind of tells me you haven't figured it out yet. And until you get there, then it's just not a good time to be a partnership with someone, you know? You got to have those goals in mind. You got to have that fire, the hunger, you know, something that's not going to put you out. Because I've seen it too many times where friends of mine, you know, people I've known through Destiny or whatever game I was maining at the time, really try to become, you know, go for the partner grind. But that's the problem, because that was their only goal. They didn't care about how close they got to partner. They cared if they're getting it or not. And if
Right.
they didn't get it, it puts out their fire. You got to put yourself up for more realistic goals that keep the fire burning. And honestly, that's like one of the main caveats I can leave today is just if you set yourself up for better goals and more success, that's what really matters. But if you put like this long-term goal out there that you feel is like I'm never going to get there, it's just going to diminish everything about we've talked about with work-life balance. It's going to diminish your drive, the hunger, your passion. It's going to start making you hate what you do because that's the only thing you want. You're not going to get it.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, that's huge. Like that actually just kind of put a little bit of stuff in perspective for me a little bit. Like I said, I don't try. I'm one of those people. I think like I try to hit little things. Like I know where I'm going, and I know I'm going to get there. And like I said earlier, I'm more. I think it's more of a realistic thing. Is it'll happen when it's meant to happen. You know what I mean? It's not
Totally.
gonna go. It's not gonna go when you want it to happen. You know what I mean? Like if I wanted things to happen, they would have happened already. You know what I mean? But
Oh yeah.
I'm happy that they're happening now. You know what I mean? I have a way better understanding of the platform. I have a better understanding of the business aspect of it. Um, Probably what I didn't have when I first started. You know what I mean? First coming in, second year, I really don't think I really got that, started grasping that until like coming into like the third to like maybe third and a half year of streaming. Like this November will be 4 years for me, and I'm kind of just now getting it. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And that's what I try to tell everybody's in a rush, and when you get people like yourself, you get me, where we have these conversations. We have crazy conversations. Like as a partnership, it's crazy that the conversation me and Cody get to have because he's always there. It might take him a little bit because he's busy, but he will get back to me.
I usually send a message like I'm looking at it, but I'll be there.
Yeah. So it's like it's one of those things is that learning it and understanding it is two different things. Like
Sure.
and I feel like when you get to get these younger guys and these guys come in, they just see success and they think there's going to be instant gratification. And I'm like, no, man, like it's just not. You're getting ready to, if you want to do it, you're getting ready to go for a ride. You're getting ready to grind out, and you're going to have to do certain things that you've probably never done. I'm self-taught editing. I'm self-taught doing anything with video, all of it. Like I've had a couple
Sure.
guys help me and like at the beginning showed me how to set certain things up, and then they tell me to this day now they're like, dude, I don't know what the hell is in you, but you've taken everything we've think and you've exploded it. Like you like they tell me, like one of my guys, he's probably watching drunken. This guy, he's got a great tech side to him. Great guy. He just can't. His work schedule keeps him from being super consistent on the stream, and I get all over him. I'm like, look, if you got 2 hours, jump on. Just like put yourself in a position to be able to be seen. And dude, he's one of my longest subscribers. 36. I believe he's at 36 months. Like, this is how involved I get in my community. I can tell you something about each one of my community members. I can tell you one thing at least about each one of them. You know what I mean? Like, literally, I can tell you, like, Keys is in here. He's a diehard Seattle Seahawks fan. Drunken, he's into werewolves and all that stuff. That's where you get the drunken liking from. Like, those guys, like anybody that comes in the chat, I have a personal spot for these guys that really dig into my community, and I literally learn something about each person, because I want everybody to come in here. I want them to be able to lose focus of what may have happened in the day. Like, if they had something bad go on or it just wasn't a good day, I want them to come in here and be like, hey, it's let it go. You know what I mean? Totally. And like, get back. He's one of my newest guys. He's from, I believe, Louisiana, and he came in here. Me and him clicked. I rated. He had a guy come, was in the baseball community, came in here. I think his name was Martin. And this is a while ago. This is how my mind is with my chat. This is a while ago. This is months ago. He came in here and he's like, look, I was looking for somebody to raid, and Martin was coming in, and he's like, I got a guy. And my man's over there, and he was by himself, like one person. And I was like, dude, I know what that fucking feels like. You know what I mean? I was like, that sucks. Nobody should ever have to do that. You know what I mean? And so I grabbed him and I threw him under my wing. And like, if he's on and nobody else is on, and or whatever, I'll rate him every night. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm always trying to send somebody to him. And then he got lucky. We had, I'm big on my community, and like, I love giving back. Like, we did a giveaway and I had a crazy month, and I tell these guys, the more subs we have, the better the giveaway is coming for subs. And it's literally a sub only. Like, you can't even enter it. Like, you can't even enter it if you're not a sub. Like, you're not getting it. And we gave away a gaming chair. And that's just what I do, dude. Like, that's what I do. Like, these guys, like, I appreciate what they do. They give me their time, and that's something you don't get back. You know what I mean? You give me your time. Like, I don't ask these guys to sub to me at all. I don't ask not one of these freaking people to sub to me. I just like your time. I like chatting. I like having you guys I like having the interaction. And I think that's where people get lost, is in that they see partnerships. Oh, this guy got this partnership, I'm gonna get this much money. No, there's still work you gotta do. Like, the money that you gotta, like, people have to buy the product. You know what I mean? Like, they still gotta buy the product. Like, it's not just gonna go out the door by itself. It just doesn't work that way. And I think that's where we all lose focus of that. Is like, you gotta give back to these guys. As much as they say they don't need nothing, they don't want nothing, they've given you your time. They've given you something that'll never be given. They can't get it back. You can't give it back. It's gone. Once they give it, it's gone. And to me, that's the biggest thing in a community, is like, if you're giving me your time, well, if we got a good month of subs and my bills are taken care of, believe the rest of it's coming back in something cool. Like, we did, what was the month? I think the month before we did the chair, we actually did an autographed jersey. So what was cool about this is that this box, it could be any jersey inside of it. We don't know who the player is. I go out and buy this box, and we open it right on stream. Whoever wins it gets to see who it is. And sometimes they give it away. The one guy got it. He didn't want it because it was a baseball jersey. He gave it back to the community. We roll again, and somebody else wins it. And those are the things I like to do. I've given, we've given headsets, we've given mice away, I don't go lightly, because like, I cherish these guys. These guys are like, a lot of these guys are tight. Like I said, some of these guys have my phone number, and we've built that relationship. And that's what I think a lot of guys lose sight. And a lot of guys, I don't want to keep saying guys, girls, whatever, whatever you assume, whatever you identify as, it's a thing where it can't be all about money. It can't be. Like, it literally can't. Even though it's your career, it can't be all about money, because no, you're not going to build that solid foundation. You're not going to build that relationship that you could possibly build. Like, if I came to you and I was strictly like, I'm trying to get in here and just make as much money as I possibly can, you're probably not going to want to, it's good for you guys as a business, but it's probably not something that you're looking for. No, because that's not your vision of your company.
So I can actually speak to that. We recently met with someone in a, pretty newish community that's coming out, and the conversation, I usually have with people who I want to partner are very different than the conversation I had. They came in, discussing all I want to talk about is money right now,
Right.
and that's the only thing that matters to me in my stream. I was like, are you sure about that? Like, I was like, typically this is kind of off-putting to companies like ours because
Right.
we're caring about what kind of content creator you are, and what this is telling me is you are definitely not the community member that you're portraying to be, which is totally fine if it's like you're putting on a persona or like you're just different on camera than you are off camera.
Right.
But if that's your one goal, you're just going to let yourself down over and over.
Oh yeah.
And especially when you project yourself to a company like ours, not saying that everyone is a certain size or needs to be a certain size to get what they want,
Right.
but it's how about you go about asking. I'm not going to go in a job interview letting them know, hey, money's the only thing that matters right now. I don't have a 6-month plan. I don't have a year plan, but I know I'm worth this much. Give me that
Right.
money. That's not how you come across, any type of negotiation or mutual conversation with someone. If you come in hot like that, I'm gonna hit back with, prove it. What do you got to show me? Like, or do you have growth that you just suddenly stumbled across? Because whatever number you're giving me right now is not speaking to what I'm seeing out of your stream and on your stream. Because I don't care how big you are, I will talk to you the same way. You
Right.
could have 10,000, 15,000 viewers. I'm still gonna look at you as a human and how you perceive what's around you, because that's gonna tell me everything I need to know. It's gonna tell me, do you respect your mods? Do you respect your own community? If it's all about money in your eyes, I guarantee you don't treat everybody in your community properly. Like,
Right. Whoever's giving you the money is getting the special treatment.
Exactly, and there's more to a partnership than just the money in it. It's the mutual benefit, that you're bringing to each other. There's a mutual benefit of just having someone to vent to, talk to. I'm always an open outlet to any of my partners. I've had partners call me just to be like, dude, I'm so down, like, just help me with this thing, or like talk to me real quick. And like, I don't mind being that person.
Right.
Because the reason I even signed you is because I care about you. Now I care about you, your community in all these senses of who you are as a streamer or just as a person. And I think that's something that a lot of people just kind of overlook. Like we talked about earlier, it's less front-facing relationships. Like, I'm going to put on my business face, and my business face is friends with your business face. It's not like that anymore in my industry, at least. Everyone in my job, they're there to make friends.
Right.
We want to make friends because that's how you get somewhere. You're not getting anywhere on a stream by not making friends. Hell no. You are friends. People are mods for you for free because they like you.
Right.
Not because they have to.
Right.
They could leave at any point.
Right.
And it's just like, it's some of those attitudes you come across. You're like, I'm so sorry, but I'm just going to have to back out of this. Like, no hard feelings. Because emotion shouldn't be like so subjected to money that way. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Of course you need to make a living, but it's not my job to make sure you're making your living through my partnership. You know what I mean? And it just, you got to bring that mutual benefit. Just like we talked about throughout all of it. Like, it always comes back to how you and I connect. It always comes back to, is there a network possibility through this? Am I going to be able to be friends with you too? Because I don't want to make a fake relationship.
Right.
I want to know that I'm going into this and I'm real and you're being real. Because like, I'm the same, like the way I'm talking right now with you, it's the same way I talked to you when it was just you and me. No one else is here listening to us.
100%.
And I preach that to everybody I train. If you need to put a work mask on because you're depressed at home, that's a totally different circumstance. But if I'm jumping in and just talking to someone, I'm using my same vernacular if I was just talking to my friends. I just want you to know who I am right off the bat.
Right.
Because if you're enjoying me now, I just know I'm never changing. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I was like that. I think I was like, I probably came in a little hot myself. I want to say hot, but like, I came in real. Like, I was like, hey, look, this is what I could offer. This is what I have. This is where the possibilities lie. And I think I cursed a little bit. Like, and it's probably not the exact way to come in, but I mean, that's just who I am.
You're totally fine. I can't stop cursing. I warn everybody when I meet with them, like, it's gonna happen. Like, I'm not gonna say an offensive curse word, but
yeah,
my grandpa was a sailor. He always gave good advice, and some of that advice came with some other words that I wasn't used to. Now it's just part of who I am.
Right? And it's like, so when somebody comes into you guys, like, would you want them like, would you want them to bring like some type of deck to you, or would you like as they shoot
So
their shot, or is there a certain way you think that works out better for you guys that lays out their information?
so as a company in our position, it's nice to set like a metric because you don't want to be an affiliate company. You don't want to
Right.
just be that standard, hey, buy our shit, here's, a 10% off code so the rest of your community can buy it. It's more like, well, we want to give you a grind goal, like at least 35 CCV if you're outside of this community. Like, we will give you that goal. That's what
Mm.
you need to get to if you want to be an advanced partner, because what that tells me is you're serious about what you're doing. I don't care if you have a really nice built out deck that tells me everything about your demographics or your stream. Like that usually matters later on down the road, right?
Right.
That matters if you're trying to prove to me where your 7,000 CCV is located, what their age group is. Like, it's sad to say, but those things do happen in this industry. But it does matter because I want to know that your community is this best fit for me,
Right.
because I like your content, and then your community is just the caveat on top, Um, decks don't really help. It just comes down to your personality, at least to me, because that's usually what streaming is, right? Like,
Right.
if you have that personality to come out and make that, killer content, whatever your grind is that day, it's going to tell me that you're tenacious, you're hungry for success, you want your own success, and you're there to make your own success. Like, it's been so overly dramatized throughout my life of like people reiterating that to me. It's just, you can't do it until you feel it, right? Like, I
Right.
never took people's advice when I was younger. I was like, let me make my own mistakes. I want to go make that mistake right now. Just like you, when someone tells you you can't do this, I have a sixth grade math teacher out there where I got a few choice words for her. Gaming led to somewhere, lady. It happens for everybody at some point. If you want it to happen, you're gonna make it happen.
They love you
But
in
like,
chat, bro. They love you in chat.
oh, what's
What's
up,
going
guys?
on still?
No, but just to speak to that one last time, if you're interested in partnership, you should reach out to them no matter what your numbers are. You should at least ask them what their metrics are, what their goals are to be like a starting off partner with them. And that's going to give you that grind. And now you have like this really fun purpose that you can share with your community, and everyone's on board, right? Like,
Right.
it's that communication factor. Like, hey guys, I really like this company. I even bought their own product to see if I like it. Or even if you haven't tried it, you just like our branding, you like what our, basically our values are. You're gonna grind for that, and I gave you a purpose. When we first signed each other on, I gave you like kind of what my goals were,
Yeah.
and you were just blowing it out of the water. And the reason I give those goals is we're all gamers, and goals drive us to do everything.
I'm very self motivated, and like if you put something in front of me, it's like I'm gonna knock it down. Like I don't like goals sitting
Totally.
there waiting. And my community, they're behind it. Like drunken, that guy's addicted. He needs. I don't know what we can do for that guy, but that guy, I don't think he's went a week since I've been partnered without buying something. And that's not even a joke. He just bought some today.
No way.
I
Thank you,
swear,
Junker.
I swear to God, this guy is, dude. Like like this guy, like ice shakers. This guy's got. I think he's got like every flavor that there might be. He just bought the Korean apple just the other. I think actually just came in the other day, and he ordered
He's all
something.
in, bro.
Oh, he's more than all in. He was looking for the subscription and everything. He was gonna get the subscription, but I guess they don't deliver a certain way. 'Cause I think
Oh
it's probably
yeah,
like U.S. mail or something like that. I
exactly.
forget what it was. There was something that it stopped him from like doing the subscription. But he's like, they gotta fix it. I was like, bro, you're addicted. Back off. It's like,
Oh
chill
my
out.
god,
I
man.
was like, chill out. Because he was telling me, I was like, bro, didn't you just order that thing? I'm like, he's like, I've been drinking it all day. I'm like, bro, like,
So
chill.
good.
But actually, like, it's been pretty cool about it is I turned him on to like the chill stuff. Because I took it, I drink it, and I'm not like, I can get amped up, but sometimes I get a little, like I'll just get things, it's just life. I have 3 kids, a wife, a house, and all that stuff to pay for, got
Oh
bills.
man.
So it's kind of like, it's like you your head gets, you're getting on the stream, you gotta make sure your content's good, you're trying to go different places and do all this other stuff, and it's like you get overwhelmed and then you get anxious. I'm just like, you know what, I'm not a pina colada guy, but I'm gonna drink this shit anyways. I drank it and I instantly, like, I was like sitting here and I was like, I just felt like just that mode just went boom. I was like, oh. I was like, oh, this is what this does. I was like, instantly. And I'm telling you what, I didn't get tired from it because I forget who I was talking to, but they were like, hey, look, this shit's gonna put you to sleep. I was like, nah, it's not going to sleep. I'm not going to sleep. I didn't go to sleep, but I'll tell you what, when I did go to sleep, I slept like a freaking rock. Like I was in it. And he's Drunken's, if you get to know Drunken's he's this big teddy bear, but he's an anxious teddy bear. Like he's a grizzly bear locked in like boo boo bear, like teddy bear. And like he took this and like you can see it, like he's calmed down, he's a lot more focused on like his stream and stuff like this. He locks in, and it's nice to see that because like these guys are around me and I try to teach them the stuff that I learned, even though these guys are the first people that taught me. It's just when I get taught something, I like to apply it right away and I like to add to it, and then I just keep going. Like I don't stop. And that's what I try to teach is that if you stop learning in this business, it's done. When you're advanced, oh my god, it's amazing when it comes in. When that package comes in, I got one coming tomorrow. Actually,
Dude,
I think I got multiple tomorrow.
It's like Christmas Day. You're like, oh, I
mean, look, I mean,
stuff.
it's not like we're little over here, you know. I mean, it's not like we don't have a freaking stack of it or nothing, you know. Like it's not like we don't have a stack.
I know, I'm guilty.
We're on drugs. We're addicted, guys. I'm addicted. I'm not gonna lie, but I am addicted to this shit. Because
at least it's a good one.
The one you sent out, I wanted the sour. What was it? Sour watermelon. And you didn't send that one. You sent this one. I was like, you know, I'm not even gonna say nothing to him about it. I was like,
even like it.
No, I fucking smashed this one. What do you mean? This one gets hammered. That strawberry lemonade gets hammered. It's probably the. I think I have an addiction to it. I'm not gonna lie.
Sometimes I do a little bit of an executive decision to change what I'm sending because I think you might like it better.
I drink.
But you'll always get the flavors.
Yeah, I mean I really got like the like I went through it and like people were asking me all the time, and I'm very truthful with like people like I wasn't big on the cherry limeade. That just wasn't my thing. But I have guys that are in the community, they eat this shit up. Like the Still Funky, I think he spent $90 to $120 on the shit. He has like a stack of cherry limeade.
Oh, we love to hear that.
You know what I mean? Like, and like that's the thing is when I think companies like you guys, it makes it fun. You know what I mean? You got guys, you got people that believe, like, you know what I mean? Like, and you hear no a lot from companies because a lot of these companies, the reach isn't, they don't think the reach is there, or they're not going to make their dollar. And it's when you guys came in, and I tell people all the time, like, you and Manscaped have probably been my favorite two places I've ever been with the partnership. Like it's there's no match to it. I love it. Like it's one of those things, like I said, after like we've had the conversations we've had constantly over and over, like you can hit on a real level, I can hit on a real level with you, and it's never like well, no, we can't do this, or no, hey, no, that's a good idea. Like you literally take that personally and you take it into thought. Most companies are like, no, fuck you, take your shit somewhere else. Like, you know what I mean? We're gonna work with you. We're still gonna work with you, but you know, fuck your idea.
Not to shit on you, but let me shit on you real quick. Yeah,
right.
I feel like a lot of people get written off, you know, just because they might not know how to portray the value that they think they have or know they have. And you know, it's unfortunate that we're one of the only companies that really dives deep into looking into it and making sure it is a good fit, and what they're saying is true. Where other companies are just like, nah, thanks, but no thanks, you know, and they just leave you right there hanging. And now you're in this spiral, you know, depending on where you're at mentally, and it's just like it's gonna show on stream, and you're like, fuck. but don't like, I feel like people let it get to them too much where it's like, nah, screw that. Let's keep grinding. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, you got to have that bounce back mentality to stick in this industry.
Right. And that's huge. I honestly, that's a good point when you talk about that, because you're going to probably hear more no's than you're going to hear yeses. And
Exactly.
that's just how it works in this industry.
Dude, as a, a former bartender, I've seen people shoot their shot on a daily basis, just for dating purposes, and just knowing that that person might get the no, they don't care. And like, you got to have that same personality and same effect in everything you do. Like, the reason someone's going to date you is because you know how to portray yourself well. You have that confidence. It's the same idea in every other aspect. Why not see that now, And like, I feel like my grandpa was always trying to tell me that, but I just never put it together.
Right.
Um,
There's just things
but
I
like,
think as we get older, we finally get it. It clicks.
right?
It clicks, and you're like, fuck, that's what he meant.
I know.
And
I
it
was like,
sucks.
you son of a bitch.
It sucks though, because it's like, usually it's like, I could have used this here, but I didn't understand it.
Totally.
That's one. And that's
Go
one,
ahead.
that's one of those things. Is like, how do you tell somebody, like, how do you I guess how would you give somebody the right tools to be able to find their value? Like, if there's somebody that doesn't understand how to find their value, what kind of tools or things would you place in front of them to help them find that?
Honestly, other people's streams most of the time. Just because they might be in a stale meta. Like, your game might be in a really weird spot where you need to do more outside of just gaming,
Right.
to just make your community happy. Like, I will share other people's content because it's, it might be innovative. It might spark an idea in your head. You might have been listening to someone else's podcast or even watching someone else's podcast live and just being like, I could do something similar to this version of this podcast in my own meta and find your own lane. You know what I mean? Like, not every day of your stream needs to be the same. It could be like every Friday is your giveaway stream. Every Thursday is your, hey, I'm going to interview a new person today stream. Like,
Whatever Thursday is for me.
Exactly. And like, you create your own meta. Like, you got to create your own metas out there. You think someone walked up to, Mizkiff and told him, hey, go buy a bunch of boxes and make these videos about boxes. Go, react to live stream fails. No, they go out and figure those things on their own. They've been in this space longer than people even recognize.
Right.
And have probably been living and breathing behind the scenes for the last decade. You know what I mean? Like, Twitch has changed names over the years, but like, once it hit Twitch,
what were they? Justin when they started or something? I think it was Justin.
Yeah,
TV.
Exactly. And like, it's always going to keep changing. You have to look outside, like on your off days, like find some time to look at some competitors. Like, that's how we make our product better. You can make your content better that way.
Right. I mean, I do that with a lot of people. Like, I honestly, that's probably one of the things that I learned how to do, because I was one of those guys. I've never been one about copying anybody. And
Totally.
you see so much of it, like, oh, well, I got this. And it's usually some of the bigger guys. They'll come down and they'll look at the littler guys that have innovation because they're new and their brains are firing. You know what I mean? Their brains are firing 100 miles a minute. And they'll come down and be like, oh, this guy's got a good idea. I'm big enough. I can take this idea and blow it up. And I've seen it happen in this community. Like, I've seen this exact thing happen with this podcast. We had a guy tried in this community that was bigger. I mean, way bigger. I mean, big boy. And he tried to do it and it just didn't work out. And I was like, it's not meant for everybody, because it honestly is not easy to interview somebody. It looks easy, but it's not. Like, I'm just very comfortable with it. I enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
I've always been that person. I've been a store manager. You know what I mean? I've been in higher places. I've ran my own companies and stuff like that. So it makes it. I guess it makes it a little bit easier for me. Like, I just enjoy it as something, getting to know. I guess getting to know somebody, plus getting to get their perspective of how they see things, is also the joy for me, is because I can take their perspective and learn from what they're talking about, how they're seeing it, and kind of implement part of that into it. Like, I'll never take somebody's whole perspective. That's just how I am. Because if I take somebody's whole perspective, I'm now copying that person. That's how I feel. but I'll take part of their perspective and I'll put it into my perspective and put it together and make its own little perspective out of it. That makes sense.
Yeah, your sweet little twist that you give it, like your idea on top of, whatever they've been doing, and it's not copying if you do it better in your own way.
Right.
And I think people need to start getting over the feeling of copying people, because it's just going to get more and more common of stealing each other's content.
100%. Much as you have streaming now, and like this platform is the most successful platform besides like YouTube videos and stuff like that. I don't think their gaming is close to what Twitch is, and neither is Facebook. So
I totally agree. I think YouTube is gonna make it there at some point whenever they figure out the UI to make it look a little bit more friendly for when someone's actually live. That's kind of where my opinion's at on that platform. I absolutely love the platform for what it originally is.
Yeah.
It's a place to make a VOD that's clipped and put together artistically, in a very fun sense, skill sense, humor. It's all about what you're doing. You have so much control. Another thing to look at is like putting all the pieces together. It's not just one piece. It's just making it all come together as your one branding and flowing it through. Because like you're figuring out YouTube, you're your own editor. Like you're understanding what I'm saying, but some of the viewers, they don't understand how much blood, sweat, and tears go into just the YouTube portion of this job.
Bro, editing sucks. Editing sucks. Like I won't even lie. Like it's like I think like it was even the most basic things. I think it is. It's just when it comes to that, I don't think people understand like how long it literally takes you to break down a video. Especially say you do a 4 to 5 hour stream. Now you have to break that down and make it to what I guess probably a good average probably is like 8 to 15 minutes at most. Like it probably 15 minutes is probably even too long now.
11 is like the key.
Yeah, I mean like and that probably teeters because people's attention spans are non-existent. Like that's why I think shorts and TikToks is like my realm, dude. I can put it together quick, but it's still time consuming because a lot of people don't understand. Like they're like, why are you putting words on your videos? Nobody else is putting words on their videos. I was like, you ever think about somebody that can't hear? You know what I mean? What are they gonna do? They're gonna read. It gives those people a chance to enjoy the video still. Like, will they get excited? Is probably somebody that can hear you get riled up and jumping in your video. Maybe not, but most of those people that read lips, they understand that hey, you're jacked up and that you're excited. You know what I mean? And I actually learned that from my deaf aunt a long time ago. I was young, and I learned how to read lips and stuff like that from her. I mean, super young, I was probably 6-7 years old, and she's always told me, she's like she would do her sign language, tell me, hey, like I can't hear, so she would tell me put closed caption on. Sure. And I would always put the closed caption on. Like, really gonna sit here and read all this shit? As you know what I mean, as a kid and as somebody that can hear, I'm not thinking, hey, she's really gonna sit here and read that while this thing and get a grasp of the. And it was wild to see it and learn, hey, look, there's more to this, because my buddy actually did this. She's like, he was making fun of me because I put words in the video. I was like, I blew his mind when I brought it to him why I did it. I was like, you ever think about deaf people? They watch videos, bro.
Dude,
I said they can read the people's lips. Like I was like. And he was like, I was just trying to make fun of you. That's what he was saying. That was all he had left. He was like, I was just trying to make fun of you. I was like, well, yeah, now you feel like a dickhead, don't you?
Seriously. No, and that's a good mindset too. Like that's the inclusive mindset that I think a lot of communities are starting to understand. Whether it's for deaf communities, whether it's for other people who might have disabilities. Like I've seen a lot of great inventions posted on Twitter in the last couple of years for people who are missing limbs being able to play games.
Mm-hmm. That's wild, right?
That feels so good to watch. It is wild. Microsoft is like cutting edge on that shit. Like it's called the gamepad, and it's for people who are missing like their full limbs, and it's usable with like whether they have just part of their arm or just like their forearms.
I think Stacked Up uses that. They're like a military. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're called Stacked Up, but they do a lot of work with like military people that maybe things happen while they're across seas and they deal with stuff in their head or they're lost a limb or something like that, and they figure out how to get these guys these systems like you're talking about, and they bring this stuff in, and it's crazy how good some of these people are. I think there used to be a guy, I don't know if he's still on Twitch. His name was Rocky No Hands, and he literally played with his mouth.
Was that the PUBG player?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was sick.
Dude,
He had some
sick
great
was
clips.
not even the word. Like my buddy brought me because there was a kid that used to play, and this kid was sick. Like he would have been the most amazing partner to ever have. Like he was 14 years old, and I still talk to the kid. He just doesn't stream anymore. This kid was dirty. I mean, when you're talking, like he could have, like if a team would have signed him, the kid would have blown up. Like the kid was that good. I was watching him one day. I'm gonna put this in perspective. This dude was 480 meters out. He's down. Like the guy's up in the house. He's down low level. He snipes this guy dead right in the head. 480 meters. On PUBG, just smoked him. I was like, bro, like what? And the kid,
I don't know how many people played PUBG here, but figuring out where you need to be on that notch for distance.
Yeah. Well, he was so high too. The guy was up on a hill in a house, and he hit him in the window. Like that was just blowing. And the kid you should see him play Call of Duty. Like I'm just like I hate that he got away from it because he's so good at it. Because he was dropping like 100 kills in games. Like he just was good, and it's just like I tried to find that avenue for him. But his age always kept him from being in this stuff. And I was just like, oh my God, this kid's gold.
You're like, don't leave.
Nah, we still talk, man. We still talk. Me and him still talk. He's like a little brother. Me and him met. He followed me in my whole career. And he actually just sent me a gift in the mail a couple months ago before I changed my logo. He actually did this like thing in wood for me and everything. Like it was kind of cool. I was like, damn. Okay, and that's how you know when you touch somebody, you know what I mean? And that's a pretty big thing. Like when you get to actually get that like home feeling, like yeah, this is became more than what it was meant, what we started out as.
Totally. I feel like that's what gaming is to a lot of people. You know, you make these lifelong friendships. I still have a friend I met in Halo 2. Who, you know, we just miraculously lived in California, you know. I was SoCal, he was NorCal. We played every single day together for, God, a year straight. And then he was like, hey, I'm coming down to go to, Disneyland. Like, are you close? Do you live close to that? I was like, I'm probably like an hour away.
Like, we can make it happen.
I was like, what are you thinking? You want me to come and we'll hang out in person? Like, we've never seen photos of each other. This is like back in the day where the only way to talk is just texting each other or just talking on game.
Like
and
PS2
it was
days.
Yeah, exactly, dude. You know, playing SOCOM and with the little dash on the back.
That thing was huge. I remember that big brick.
Yeah, that stick in the brick to plug it into the, you know, your router at the time, and hopefully you can connect to the SOCOM server to even play, or the Rainbow Six Vegas, whatever you're playing at the time. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. No one call our house right now. We're playing online.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, I don't miss that.
No, neither do I. That's what I was like. Just that part was funny too, though, because I remember like we were looking for this house, and I'm like, she's like, I'm putting a bid in right now. I was like, no. I was like, you gotta let me make sure I can get Fios. I need fiber.
Yeah, oh my God. Internet is priority.
I was like, we are not buying this house if I can't get fiber. If I don't got 1,000 up and 1,000 down, we are not doing it. And she thought I was kidding. I was dead serious. No. I was dead serious. I was like, because we had it over there in the old house for like 8 years. I was like, there's no way I'm going back there. Anything slower, it's not happening. And then like got the kids are on everything, so you got to have it.
Yeah, you're like, I ain't getting bogged down by anybody. No, I need it.
No, but I mean, this has been crazy. But we also, I don't know if you've told anybody else, but September 18th. We have a charity stream for suicide prevention and awareness. And of course, we have the sponsors involved. We got Advanced GG involved. We have Manscaped involved. Possibility may have Elgato in this with us. Working on that one. I'm going to try to get in contact with the new sponsor, All Customs, to see if they want to get involved with it. But we do this every year. The last year, like I said, I don't care how small I am, we can make shit happen. Last year, The group I run, I have a stream team myself called the Get Sticky Crew, and we did $5,000 last year.
That's amazing.
I streamed for 40 hours straight. I wasn't going to bed. 40 hours straight. We were so close to the goal. I was like, I'm not going to bed until we hit it. And literally somebody paid me to go to bed. They were like, well, I'll donate this for you to go to sleep. I was like, I'm not going to sleep until we hit it. Like charity is huge for me. Plus it's also a close to home thing for me.
Same here, man.
With suicide, like I lost one of my real good friends to it, and then just recently my nephew just tried to do it. So now it's even closer to home for me.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
But he survived. He's getting help. So we're on a good path with there, and he's talked to him and say things are going good with it. So that's the plus. So he's in the right spot for it. But like I said, guys, we will be doing that September 18th. As of right now, it will be strictly on Twitch. It could possibly touch Facebook, that the guy hasn't got back to me yet. So right now it's looking like it's going to be strictly Twitch. It'll start at 10 a.m. in the morning, and it will go until we hit the goal.
I'm gonna get that date from you off stream. You know, this tattoo I have, that's dedicated to a friend I lost through suicide. You know,
yeah.
I'll never. You know, he was one of my best friends. I'm never gonna forget him. He's part of me now.
Right.
But I support this wholeheartedly. I would love to.
I mean, we go big with it. We actually get some guest speakers on. Like I do this very. It's one of the things that we've grown. We started out with 5 of us doing it every year. And then the year after that went to 10. And last year I think we were up to 20 people doing it. And we don't care who's doing it. We just want the goal is to get front page on Twitch with it and let them understand that we have people out here doing this stuff. I don't have a Twitch contact yet, so it's been hard. it's been a tough road to try to get their attention.
They're so tough unless you're partnered, and then even then, like, you have that one partnership person that's partnered for like 2,000 Twitch streamers, you know.
Right.
I hope if there was a way I could help you on that, I totally would. But I'm gonna do a lot on my back end. Like I'll come back to you when I'm done driving, and we'll talk a lot about this. By the way, this means a lot to me, and thank you.
Yeah, this is a big thing to me. Like I said, we get a lot of guys involved. I know we'll probably be sitting near 30 people, and I'd like to even get like inside of these Discords. I just don't know how to bring it into the Discord, you know what I mean, and get more streamers involved with it. That's the goal, is getting everybody involved. Like I want my goal is to shut Twitch down and like have this focus, like hey, look, these guys are going, we're going to go as a community and just go huge with it. Like they know who I am. Like if I message anybody from AFSP, they know who I am. Like I've made my impact, like with my brother-in-law. He does a lot of work here in the chapter in my town, and doing walks and doing these streams. We've been doing these for 4 years. I did stuff with them before I even started streaming. And big charity person. We've like I said, they get involved with us now. Like we've had a big person, like we got involved with their chapter up in New York now, which is their headquarter chapter, I guess you want to say. Like that's the monster chapter. We had one of their big I don't know if you want to call her big, but she's from that chapter. She came on and spoke last year for a little bit. They give stuff away, like as we hit goals, they give stuff away for everybody. And it's a big thing. So we bring out the numbers of suicide and tons of information to get people help. Like it's a really big thing to me. Like, I mean, it's getting bigger every year. Like I said, I think our platform needs it. I think this platform needs it. I think it needs to be seen so people know that there's people that they can go to. Like what we do, like I open up the Discord too. Like I'll make a section for people that may be going through something at that time. And my wife is nice enough. Usually she's a couple other people may get in there and they'll just listen. Totally. And it's something we've been doing. We've had people come in, like last year was really I think where it really got me is I actually had somebody come in and was like, dude, you saved my life.
Oh, that hits the
And
feels.
I was like, yeah, I was like in the middle of the stream, and you don't know how to take it. Like I didn't even know how to take it in. Like while we were in it, they're like, he's like, I didn't know this guy, and he's like, can I call you? And I'm like, hoping that this person, you know what I mean? Like you're hoping that this person's not playing around, but I could tell just by how he was talking to me in chat, and like you could hear pain, I guess you want to say, like as I was reading it, and I was like, okay, and I called him, and like this guy literally just like spilled it. I was just like, I didn't know how to take it in, didn't know how to respond, but that's why I continue to do these, is because if we can get one person, and it's one less person that goes to a statistic, or a family that loses somebody, that's something that could possibly be helped.
Totally. You know, I I wouldn't even know how to react. I'd probably bawl. I'd probably just start crying.
Yeah, it was intense. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I was like, yeah, that was heavy.
But it's such a good
It
feeling
is.
to
It
know
is.
that you saved a life.
It is, because when you put the time, like I put a lot of effort in. Like the flyer should be coming out. We should have the flyer this week. Um, should be going out this week for it. I wanted it to go out earlier, but I mean we're still gonna get it out with a decent amount of time left. But it's one of those things is that you get into these and you don't realize what's gonna happen. Because I'm not afraid to talk about it. You know what I mean? Like I've learned that from dealing with this organization for so long. It's kind of like you learn how to talk, you learn how to listen to it and whatnot, and that's the hardest part. Is a lot of people don't have nowhere to go because people just don't want to listen, or people are afraid to talk because of the stigma around it.
Totally. Like they're gonna think you're attention seeking or something that's just off-putting to that person. It's like, like you know, you wish the stigma was definitely different, right? Like anyone can come and talk to you.
That's what
But
we
it's
do.
it's
Like that's what my community is about. Like I leave it open to everybody. I'm like, look, you can call me, you can text me, you can message me in Discord. If I don't see it right then and there, I will get back to it. Please don't do anything like that's gonna mess up. What webcam do I have? I don't have a webcam. I have a real camera. I have a Sony A6000 with a Sigma 30mm lens, f 1.4 lens on it.
a good ass camera.
Well, it's like my community, they took care of it. Like I was just grinding trying to get it, and they were like, how much is it? Then y'all just like the one night just threw it in, and I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like y'all are out of control. And that's what I said to you. I was like I might, like my average might not be up there right now. I said, but I'm telling you, like these guys they're in for it. Like anytime we put something together, and they're like, we're full tilt.
I'd love to hear it.
But
well, do you have any other questions for me or anything?
I appreciate you coming
on,
man.
Blast, dude. That was fun.
Yeah, I like being like I'm very real. I love going real with it, and I love that like not everybody wants to go real. You know what I mean? So it's like nice when you get that other person, you can feel the give back, and they're like, oh yeah, we can go. We can get into this.
Dude, you and I are yes and people, and it's just a fact. And those people, we vibe off each other so easily. Right. It's easier to come up with ideas. It's easier to say yes to the other person. You know, it's almost like we're two extroverts, or I'd say I'm like an omnivert. Like I have my days where I want to be in my cave, but I appreciated you mentioning this. I was like, dude, I'm so more than down. And then I was like, oh, I always say yes, and I don't look at my schedule. I'm like, oh crap, I better be open.
Right. No, we do it every year. I'm trying to add some more things. Like in October, I go full tilt like breast cancer awareness. So like I get into that. My grandmother survived it. So like I said, like I mess with things that get really close to me because I know that I'm going to be more passionate about it, and I'm going to put more time. I've been doing breast cancer awareness stuff since, oh my God, it's been, I bet you I've been doing it for easily 17 years.
Oh crap, dude.
Yeah, I play minor league football, and so we always did a breast cancer awareness game. I was in the league for like 14 or 15 years. So I ended up doing it. I ended up doing that, and I just kept doing it. Like I've had it so big that where we had like LaShawn McCoy, Marcus Colstein, all these guys showed up to like one of the games and were signing like autographs and stuff. Like it was intense. Like I got that one. That got big. It's been a little bit different since I've been on this platform and not playing football. It's huge in football. Like breast cancer awareness goes nutty in football.
I kind of remember that. I just, I've been supporting it through other means throughout the years because, like you had a family member who survived it. I've had 2 aunts that survived it. So that Advance is more than willing to participate in these events. Like that's just where the partnership is.
Right.
Whether it's me giving away merch to people who donated to the cause, whether it's us coming in to finish up a little bit of the goal at the end, get you across the line. That's stuff we do. So regardless of us being on this podcast, I will communicate to you off stream and make sure that we're jumping in this.
Yep.
And everyone who had me today, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming and supporting me. Like just, it means a lot to him, and then to me, it means the world to know that I partnered with someone who is a good fit for us, and you guys are proving that right now. And it's been such a crazy ride. I didn't expect it to be this quick. I've had partnerships where like acceptance will come a little bit after, but this was just immediate.
I can't, bro. I gotta go get it. Like, I can't sit back and wait. Like it's like you said, you got goals. You put something in front of me. I'm like, look, if I get to this, it's gonna help me out tremendously. It's gonna help you guys. It's gonna help me. It's gonna help my community. I was like, so like, let's go. Let's full tilt at it and we go full send. If we miss, we miss, and just keep firing until we get it.
Right? You're gonna hit the target at some point.
I'm gonna hit it. It's not gonna be some point. We don't put the word some at some point in the line, and we will hit it.
It's easy in this room. You always strike back so quick.
Hey, look, I'm just like, I don't know what it is. Like a lot of people tell me that I'm so motivated. Like I get so self-motivated, and I have such a high motor, and that's the thing. I think that's what keeps me going. Is that it's like when you like I played as a game. Like I played a sports game. Like I played football, basketball, baseball, all that all my life, and I've been so competitive. So to me, it's just like I put my mind in like, hey, look, you're the start of the game. If you want to be the greatest, you gotta go. Like it's you don't have time to sit back and wait because the next person's coming. That's how I look at it. There's always somebody coming right behind you. Somebody's breathing on your neck every step you take. Like, and they're just waiting for you to slip one time, and then they're gonna right over top of you.
Seriously, you got to make yourself, irreplaceable.
That's the goal.
Like there's no one else who could be you, right?
Right.
You're the best you. Keep showing that.
Right.
I don't know. That's something someone else taught me, and it never, like, it's so weird how all these things never click until you live it.
Yeah, you gotta. I think it's as you get older too. Like I said, you get older and you realize it as you get older, and you start going through that journey of where those people who taught you that have been. And like as we're young, we know it all. We're this person. Yeah, we can't be touched. We can't be beat. And then it's like something smacks us real quick, and like, hey, nah, step back, bro. Like you can be touched. And then you get it. You're like, that's what that meant. Like there's times I do that to this day. I'm just like sit here and I'm like, I finally get it. Like I get that. Like I understand what was being said.
It's like rewatching that movie, one of those movies that was one of your favorite movies, and there's just a part that you never picked up, like a nugget of information, or
right. Hey,
this is a part of the plot I never picked up before because I was just too young to even understand.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Peter has been such a great resource to me, and I don't thank him enough. He's given me some of the best advice that I've thrown away. You know what I mean? And he never threw it back in my face either. He was a friend. He was a true friend about it. Like, hey man, I'm not gonna say I told you so, but maybe you might start trusting me a little bit more from now on. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, and he's a little bit older than me, and he totally understands. Like, you need to live those mistakes.
Right.
I love having like any mentor that won't throw it back in your face, but is there for you to like communicate with and lean on. Is that person you deserve, right? Like you need that person in your life that's gonna not put you down when you're down. He's gonna be like, not necessarily told you so, but maybe you might listen on the next one, you know?
Great. Yeah,
And
these
that's
people are hard to
huge for
find,
me.
man. They're hard to find.
Yeah, you know, if you can't push someone away, they're meant to be in your life, right?
Right. 100%. But yeah, man, I'm gonna let you get out of here. I appreciate you coming
Thank you.
on, man. This was awesome. Like this was something new to me. Is bringing on the sponsorship and letting everybody get like that inside like view of somebody at the top of the sponsors, like that's bringing in their partners and giving it to everybody that watches me. Like I said, the question happens a lot to me because I'm able to achieve these things in time. You know what I mean? Like it's been a ride for me. I've heard a lot of no's, and it's been nice to hear the yeses lately.
Yeah, dude, you're winning lately. Keep it up.
I appreciate it, dude. Appreciate you taking the time.
No problem, man. I appreciate you having me. I'll head out. I'm gonna make some dinner or something, and I'm sure I'll end up bugging you sooner or later.
I'll be on. Have fun. Appreciate you.
Hey, see you stream. Bye, guys.
Later.